Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask, Heidi. It's the weekend, so let's do the whole doggone thing. Saturday, the 14th of September, National Eat a Hoagie Day. It's been a while since I've had a hoagie, but I like them when I have them. Gobstopper Day, National Coloring Day, National Parents' Day Off, National Cream-Filled Donut Day, National Live Creative Day. I live creative most days.
You sure do.
And Farmers Consumer Awareness Day, which should be, all the time. And then the 15th of September, Sunday, National Double Cheeseburger Day. I have to celebrate that. I mean, it's the law. Butterscotch Cinnamon Pie Day. That's pretty specific right there.
It is.
Google Day. So apparently Google's birthday is Sunday. International Dot Day. International Day of Democracy. Make a Hat Day. Have you ever made a hat?
I don't believe, than like a paper hat.
I was going to say I made a hat out of paper once. World Afro Day, National Cream de Mint Day, National Felt Hat Day. So apparently that's what you're supposed to make your hat out of. And Wife Appreciation Day, which it's about time.
It's my favorite day of the year.
It's about time. Appreciate them wives. And in addition to that, I've got a guest, Jordan Goodman, America's Money Answers Man. We'll get some answers. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from VitaTech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how VitaTech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Could contra dating help more people find love? You might see the term used on social media sites. It's defined as internationally dating people outside or even opposite your normal type. It's the practice of being open to people who normally you wouldn't even consider hanging out with, which in turn could significantly increase your dating pool. Experts say it's actually a really good idea. It's kind of the whole opposites attract thing.
Right.
As long as you don't contradict somebody who has conflicting core values to yours.
That's so important.
Apparently, many of us have been missing that special someone because our primary focus of our ideal perfect person has more to do with things like facial features,
right,
or hair color or skin color or body type. You get past all of that and you talk to the person who's inside all of the stuff that you see.
Right. That's
where you actually fall in love.
Absolutely.
So, luckily for me, Heidi got past all of this and somehow fell in love with whatever's
ditto.
The squishy inside of me. Surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
That's BetterCreditCards.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Heidi, did you know the McRib has a lot of stuff in it? Let's look at this.
Yes, I did.
According to Time Magazine, the McRib has 70 ingredients, 34 of which are in the bun. You might assume these things are like spices and natural food-related flavors.
Nope, chemicals.
But there's a lot of things.
It's
One's
a
called
chemical bomb.
Azocarbotamide. I probably said it wrong. It's a flour bleaching agent used in things like foam plastics for gym mats and the soles of shoes. But that's just one of the ingredients. The others might all be good. There's 69 more, Maybe one of them's nice. We don't know everything.
Those things are nasty.
I kind of like them. We don't know everything, but now we know this.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by Radiosavings.com. Will the next movie from Tolkien fantasy series be Lord of the Rings, The Return of the Wizard? Ian McKellen said he'd be happy to play Gandalf again. The actor who played the beloved Grey Pilgrim in the first 3 films, as well as the Hobbit movies, revealed that there's already some magic at work bringing him back. He said he's been told they're going to have more films, and they would like to have him involved. They hope he'll play again. He's 85 years old. He recently suffered a serious fall while performing a stage production. He said he doesn't know when the new film might enter production, but he says they better be quick. And Starting Five, a Netflix basketball series, follows several basketball players. It's been confirmed with an October 9th premiere We've got LeBron James. We've got Anthony Edwards. We've got Jason Tatum. I don't know, Jimmy Butler. There's a whole list of people here. I'm not a basketball guy, so I'm hoping I said everybody's name correctly. But that is coming to Netflix. It says October 9th, so it'll be here before you know it. Big screen, little screen, brought to you by radiosavings.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over, I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of bettercreditcards.com. This is kind of fascinating. 200 years ago, they invented this thing called a treadmill. You know what it was invented for? A torture device.
Oh.
Yeah, they'd put somebody on there and they'd make them like walk to death.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of the same.
I think it's still a
kind of the
torture
same as
device.
now, is what I'm trying to say. I have not been on a treadmill in a while. I remember we bought a treadmill once, but it was like it wasn't
a great place to hang clothes.
Yeah, it wasn't a commercial treadmill like you see at the gym. I've used those. This was like a little wimpy one, and when I'd walk on it, it was like. I said, I think I might be too heavy for this treadmill. There's smoke coming out of the belt. That's not good. And China has released the first ever major video game, Black Myth Wukong. The theme of the adventure game is rooted in Chinese mythology. And after 6 years of development, it has taken off, well, like Chinese fireworks. Need proof? Check this out. Its developer, Game Science, sold 10 million copies in 83 hours.
Whoa.
That makes it one of the fastest selling games of all time.
That's a heck of a day.
The game, well, it's 83 hours is more than a day. It's a couple of days. But the game was so hotly anticipated that some China-based workplaces actually gave people who work there time off so they could play this game when it hit the streets.
Oh.
So that's kind of cool. In Black Myth's first 24 hours, it became the most played single-player game on Steam and the second most played game on the platform overall. So it just took 24 hours for it to surpass all other games. And the game Black Myth turned profitable on its very first day and made $450 million in its first 3 days.
Whoa!
Yeah. Players have found the graphics so appealing that there have been real-life rush to the sites and the temples and shrines featured in the game. So I've got a link to the story if you want to read all the details.
They're going to see the landmarks.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I got to go see this stuff. Scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of bettercreditcards.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Excited to visit right now with Jordan Goodman, America's Money Answers Man. And we've got about once a month a call with him, and we learn everything financial. We're going to talk a little bit about the economy right now, and the Fed is getting ready to maybe make some adjustments on rates. Is that right?
Definitely. Yeah, the recent signs have been the economy is clearly slowing down. The most recent unemployment report was 146,000 jobs created, much less than expected. The two previous months were revised downward by 86,000. So the employment market, which had been kind of red hot, is clearly cooling off. And we're just seeing signs all over the place. We're just people being more cautious about spending. And so the Fed has been fighting inflation for the last 3 years. And I think they're going to declare a victory lap and say, okay, now our bigger concern is the employment market. So at their September 18th meeting, they're clearly going to cut rates by a quarter point, possibly a half point. But I think they're being very conservative and cautious, so they'll probably do a quarter point.
But it's a step in the right direction no matter what, right?
Well, it is. I've kept rates quite high, 5.5% for a year and a half to keep inflation coming down. It has worked. Now, inflation's in the mid 2% range, 2.5%. It had been as high as 9% in June of 2022. So it's definitely come down a lot. But it doesn't mean prices are going down, John. It means that they're rising at a slower pace. So people don't particularly feel all that much better because prices are not going back to where they were in 2019 or something like that.
Do we see them ever going back to that, or is that kind of hard to predict something like that?
That's not something you'd expect. Yeah, I mean, for prices actually to start falling, that would be deflation, and that's not something you want. I mean, now that's happening already in China. For example, China's in a really bad shape because their real estate market's kind of collapsed, and so people lost their money in apartments which will never be completed, and they don't go out and buy much when they don't have much consumer confidence.
Yeah.
So that's deflation. You don't want deflation. Last time we had deflation in the United States was the Depression, and I don't think we want to go there again.
Now, on our program, we try to avoid politics as much as we can, but when we're talking about the economy and when we're talking about, the impact that the economy has on a household, there's also a thing that's coming up here in November that has a bit of an impact on the household as well, and there's an election, and there is definitely two different tales here, aren't there?
Completely two different worlds in how they look at things. Just for example, take taxes. Former President Trump is talking about cutting the corporate tax rate, which is currently 21% to 15%, and Kamala Harris is talking about raising it from 21% to 28%. You can see right there just a huge difference in policy. Trump wants to stimulate the economy by cutting corporate rates and having companies hire more and expand more and do more R&D. She talks about having companies pay their fair share by raising tax rates. In general, when you raise tax rates, you get less taxes because people either don't produce as much or they have the incentive to go overseas or do something like that. I mean, you see it in the United States. The high-tax states, California, Illinois, New York, places like that, companies and individuals are moving out of those states to lower tax states like Florida, Texas, and Tennessee, and so on. And when you give people an incentive to do that, that's what they're going to do. So that is among many very different views of the economy. And the election right now is pretty much 50-50. It could go either way, but the two of them have completely different views on economic policy.
Absolutely. And like I said, we always try to avoid politics because as a listener, whatever your thoughts are, whatever your beliefs are, that's up to you. And I'm not here to tell you what to do. But again, as we had Jordan on the line, I wanted to certainly at least talk about that because there is such a vast difference between the two.
There is in many different areas, but economic policy, tariffs, for example, Trump wants to put 10% tariffs on all products coming from overseas. Harris does not want to do that. That would raise prices for Americans, but protect American industry. So just across the board, they could not be more different in their views of economic policy. And the country is pretty much split right down the middle on which way they want to go. It's all going to be decided in the end, John, by who shows up in the battleground states who's undecided going one way or the other. That's what it's going to amount to.
Absolutely. Well, if somebody would like to learn a little more about anything to do with the economy, I encourage them to connect with you. And you've got a very nice website where people can go, a lot of resources. Let's tell people how they can find you, Jordan.
MoneyAnswers.com. The easiest way is Jordan@MoneyAnswers.com. Always glad to take emails from your listeners, John.
Very nice. Again, Jordan Goodman, his website, MoneyAnswers.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In a remote area of Colombia, kids have to travel to school on a zip line.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Had to go down a zip line, uphill both ways.
That would be cool.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
2nd Street is the most common street name in the United States. 1st Street, by the way, comes in 3rd. So, but there's a lot of places that don't have a 1st Street. They have like Main Avenue, and then the next one over is 2nd Street.
Well, that doesn't make any sense
That's
at all.
what it is. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Streets in Japan do not have names. Yeah. So you're like,
how do you find them?
I don't know. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A person's sense of hearing becomes less sharp after overeating. Well, that's my problem.
Okay.
I'm overeating all the time. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Cologne was originally produced as protection against the plague. It was widely believed that smelling bad air would spread the disease. So they're like, tss, 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 you're all good. You're good to go. You can roam about the community. And then you get the Black Plague. Several fun facts now you know. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for the Mint Mobile question of the day. It comes your way courtesy of mintervention.com. Question for you, Heidi. According to a survey, this is the number one phrase women do not want to hear. What is it?
No.
No, that's not it. That's probably the number one phrase men don't want to hear. But, women do not want to hear, you look tired.
Oh.
Yeah. Have you ever had somebody say that to you?
Yeah. Yeah. Probably because I'm always tired. But especially if I don't have makeup on, they'll be like, "Oh, are you feeling okay? You look tired."
I've never said that. I think you look fantastic all the time. And
Oh,
I'm not
thank
just
you.
saying that. Mint Mobile
But
question.
I am tired.
Are you tired? Mint Mobile question of the day comes your way courtesy of mintervention.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Time now for some weird news brought to you by weirdgiftoftheday.com. If you are one of the many who believe that putting pineapple on a pizza is a culinary crime, you should hear what they're doing in Sweden.
Oh, no.
A pizza topped with curry, pineapple, and banana.
Ew.
Yeah, nobody knows exactly who came up with this idea for an unusual pizza, but according to a 2017 tweet by the curators of Sweden, Tropicana Pizza, also known as the Swedish pizza, it was already then known as the most Swedish pizza there is, end quote. Apparently, many Swedes find the combination of curry and pineapple and bananas paired with the smoky, savory flavor of smoked ham irresistible.
Ew.
Making a banana-top pizza is one of the most popular pizzas in Sweden.
So I wonder if it still has the traditional tomato sauce with
Yeah,
it.
if it's not weird enough for you, check this out. Some pizza places in Sweden add their own ingredients to the thing, including peanuts and shrimp as well. And yes, it is a regular ham pizza with this stuff thrown on top of it. So, yeah, that's weird. That's why it's weird news. Brought to you by weirdgiftoftheday.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the list, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Wallet Hub sent me the 100 largest U.S. cities across 47 key indicators, talking about, what are we looking for here? Availability, cost. The best cities for recreation and the worst cities for recreation.
Okay.
I apparently edited something out of the top that I shouldn't have. Best cities for recreation: New Orleans, Atlanta, St. Louis, San Diego, Scottsdale, Arizona, Honolulu, Cincinnati, Tampa, Florida, Orlando, Florida, and the best city, number one, Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, the worst cities for recreation, 91 is Fort Wayne, Indiana, San Jose, California, Jersey City, New Jersey, Durham, North Carolina, Hialeah, Florida, Newark, New Jersey, number 97, Fremont, California, and then Irving, Texas is number 98. They're usually on the list on the bottom of these things. Oakland, California, 99, and the number one worst city for recreation, according to this list from Wallet Hub, Chula Vista, California.
I have not been to most of those places.
Well, there's some of them that
cannot form an opinion.
According to this list, you could skip 10 of them. The list brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis by allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover? You can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
Time now for the quote of the day. It comes your way courtesy of radiosavings.com. Our quote today is from Al Einstein. You might know him as Albert. All of his closest friends like me called him Al.
Called him Al.
Albert Einstein said, "I do not know what weapons World War III is going to be fought with, but World War IV will be fought with sticks or stones." Think about that. He's saying World War III, I don't know what we're going to come up with for weapons, but when we're done, everything's
Everything
gone.
will be destroyed.
So keep that in mind. That is kind of scary stuff right there.
Yeah,
Quote of
he's
the
not
day
wrong.
comes your way, courtesy of radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. Take a listen to this headline. Missing hiker found alive after a month in the North Cascades National Park. Yeah. This
Holy
comes from
cow.
Washington State. 39-year-old Robert Schock has been found alive, missing for about a month in the rugged terrain in the Northern Cascades National Park. Schock was reported missing July 31st. He was hiking with his dog. 5 days later, they found his dog, sparking concerns for his whereabouts. Despite extensive efforts, the sheriff's department there and the rangers there and everybody with ground crews and helicopter searches, everything just kind of eventually grinded to a halt.
Right.
They're like,
you can only look so long
Yeah.
where you got to be like, I don't know what else we can do.
Everybody came up empty-handed. As hope began to fade, his fate seemed uncertain until last Friday, when his voice broke through the wilderness, alerting a trail crew to his presence. Though weak and malnourished, he was found alive and well.
Oh my gosh.
He was transported to the United General Hospital, where he is now recovering.
That's insane.
Yeah, and they always talk about, there's a map here that shows here's where the car was found, and here's where the dog was found, and here's where he was found. But they always talk about, a lot of the times we've had stories where somebody's saved because their dog,
Right.
their dog was there.
This dog
was like,
this dog wasn't taking him back.
I told you not to go on a hike. You should have brought more treats.
No, this is why I don't go into
It is scary. And I'm
areas
looking
I'm not meant to be.
at the photos of this place. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. But I'm like, I'd rather look at the photos than this. I do have a link to the story if you'd like to read it and get all the details. I've got that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.